Teacher of the Year. Now, isn't that great? The principal said that, you know, you're one of the few people who can become Teacher of the Year, and everybody loves it, and that's a remarkable skill. But, you know, that's fundamentally because you're so focused on the children. That's what you're focused on, and I think that shines through and people know it. The superintendent is, I don't even know what to say. I mean, how can you not pass a levy for 20 years and be in a position of where you're doing so well academically? And just walking, look, I mean, you see this classroom? I mean, this is a beautiful classroom. This building, beautiful building. Great things hanging on the walls, clean, everybody's pleasant and nice. And you can see there is a great mission going on here. And this superintendent has worked with Dick Ross, who's our senior education advisor, and he's going to be one of a group of superintendents that will be working consistently with us through the foreseeable future to make sure we get education policy correct. Yeah, I just can't stress enough to the superintendent that in order to accomplish these things, I'm sure early on it wasn't easy because there was probably a lot of pushback on the things he wanted to do. And I'm inspired by somebody that can have the courage to always put boys and girls first. And because education has to be for children, not for adults. To the parents that are here today, we're trying to accomplish a number of things, and it's happening. And I have to say that I'm thrilled that Peggy Lehner is the chairwoman of the Education Committee, because she's worked very, very closely with us. And yeah, we have our tug of wars at times, but we know where she is as well. We've just passed the third grade reading guarantee. Now, the third grade reading guarantee, like all these other things, the purpose was never to try to punish or hold somebody back. We have an early childhood coordinator. We understand the importance of that. We understand the importance of early, not just early childhood education, but pre-kindergarten, kindergarten. I mean, it's all important. And we believe that we should be intervening very early to start teaching our children how to read. I was very encouraged to see the kindergarten writings out here. Now, you'll notice if you look at them, one of the students has a nice 4 lines. Some of the words misspelled. That's okay, because what they're doing is they're striving for being able to get it right, and they're excited about learning. Our purpose on the third grade reading guarantee is to intervene and do whatever needs to be done so when that child graduates from the third grade, they can read at a third grade level. Unfortunately, I think I read in our local paper here that some of the urban districts have 40% of our third graders who cannot read at a third grade level being pushed to the 4th grade. Now, the problem with that is I'm not a very good swimmer, but when you learn to swim, or for some people who are not very good golfers, you don't go farther and farther and more difficult of a hole to get better. You have to be good at the basics. You have to be good at swimming. You don't go trying to do a deep dive somewhere if you can't swim. And in the case of reading, if it's so difficult for you in the 3rd grade, when you push young people to the 4th and the 5th grade and they can't read, throw their hands in the air. They knock the pieces off the checkerboard. They say, this is not for me. I don't like this. This is too hard. Well, you know what's worse than that? They don't say anything. And then they get promoted right along, and by the 10th grade, we can find statistically that they'll quit. That is not being fair to the student. And so the third grade reading guarantee we think is critical. Now, if a kid can't read at the 3rd grade level, we don't hold them back on everything. We just want them to be able to read at that 3rd grade level. Now, I have 2 daughters who on the 16th, today's what, the 14th, in 2 days they're going to turn 13, okay? And I want to know how they're doing, because if they're not doing well, and I want to look the other way, and not get them the help they need or ask the teachers to help them, then I'm not being a very good parent, in my opinion, because I want to know what is happening. The third grade reading guarantee in the lives of mothers and fathers who are extremely busy is something that can help them, give them guidance. And with the schools, I believe the schools will get this right. And I appreciate the fact that Peggy participated in this, and I think we have a pretty good program going forward. A teacher evaluation. Sarah Dove, who's with us today, she traveled the state trying to do teacher evaluation. Why? Because we want people to be in the right jobs. We want them to be evaluated. We want them to be remediated. We want them to be the best that they can possibly be. Those rules and regulations are being written now, and it should help the teachers to improve. And that's exactly what we want, because they're the ones that are in charge of our children. And then as you take a look at career connections, this is also something that Peggy was involved with, and Dick Ross. We want to start in the first grade, beginning to talk to children about what they might want to be in life. In fact, today I was at a lunch with some friends, and one of my friends is a doctor, and one of my daughters says she wants to be a neonatologist, but she doesn't want to be a doctor. I haven't explained how that works yet. But he is going to take her to understand what he does. He's going to take her down to Children's and let her walk around and watch the doctor friend of mine, Dr. Bechtel, you know, his white coat and his stethoscope, and talking to children. And we want to start having kids at a very early age begin thinking about what they want to be. And many of our particularly of our young boys, want to be football players and soccer players and baseball players, and that's okay. But once they finish their professional career, we want to make sure that they have something else to go on to, and because we presume that almost all of them will make the NBA or or the NFL. So this career connections is exciting as well. This bill is designed to do, I think, 2 or 3 things. The A through F. First of all, we need to speak in clear language that parents can understand. This is a really, I think, a great help to teachers. I don't think I've ever met a teacher who wasn't totally and completely dedicated to being able to improve the lives of our young people. I mean, a teacher goes into it because they want to open up a world to the students. And the A through F can allow them, not just individually, but as part of a team, to work together to figure out where the weaknesses are. Because once you understand where your weaknesses are, you can remediate them and you can build greater strength. And we all have our weaknesses, and those who are the best are the ones that can recognize a weakness, then move on to fix them. And that's not just in education. It's in everything else in life. Secondly, of course, it's also brings great clarity to mothers and fathers, and will allow mothers and fathers to understand how's it going in reading, how's it going in mathematics, how's it going in terms of did my child learn enough in the course of the last year to make the kind of progress they need to make, called value added, which will be part of a score as well. And at the end of the day, once this core curriculum is in, and the core curriculum is basically a higher standard for our children to be able to jump higher and jump farther in a world that's increasingly global. Because what we don't want to do is have our kids out in the middle of nowhere in a desert somewhere because they didn't get the skills that they actually could have had they been pressed. And so this is going to be great for parents because it's going to allow them to see exactly how the school is doing and allow them to participate, to jump in, to come to school, to help the teachers. So to me, it's a win-win. And there's actually a lot of press here today. This is a big deal for our state. The A to F is a big deal academically. Some of the states that have adopted it, most notably Florida, has seen significant improvements in education quality. So if you take this all as a bundle, the third grade reading guarantee, the teacher evaluation, the career connections, the program that we just started here called The Road to Readiness, the A through F, increasing choice for parents. I mean, bringing Teach for America in our